Yeah, it is definitely. You remember when, I don't remember when it was, Kanye, within the last few years, somebody tried to have him sign some fakes and he told them they were fakes, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that Michael Jordan would do that if he came across somebody that had a pair of fake Jordans?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sneaker History Podcast. I'm Robbie, chilling here with my man Nick, my co-pilot. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. Good, man. Ready for some Halloween candy.
I'm happy you said Halloween candy. I've been biting my tongue to not say spooky any point in the past 30 seconds I've been talking. So it's Halloween time. It's a great time for shoes. There's seasonal shoes released throughout the year, different holidays, but I feel like Halloween is one of the holidays where they come correct. It's such a seasonal thing, right?
Yep.
You can go more fall themed. You can go more scary themed. You can go a wide array of stuff. So I think it's going to be talking about Halloween shoes for the most part today. Before we jump all the way into that, though, we love to share with you what we've been rocking, and we're going to do a twist on what we're looking to cop. So I'll get us started. I've actually been rocking my Halloween ready Air Jordan 5s. I went on vacation, and it's a great feeling to only give yourself the pair on your feet option or the pair in the bag option. So there's only one alternate. You can't really be switching shoes like that. It makes you actually wear them. So I had a very good time in Vegas with these 5s. And Nick, go ahead and tell them what you rocked, and then I'll explain the copping.
I've been rock the Question Orange Toe OGs from, I don't know, forever ago. Probably 97, 98. One of many, just, obviously it was a long, drawn out process for me to get those yellow toes, but this is one of those shoes from back in the day that always nice to pull out every once in a while.
All we need are pumpkin spice lattes, and we're the most Halloween seasonal people
exactly, yeah,
on a podcast right now. But when it comes to copping, I thought it'd be fun to look back, look at any point in time, and think what would be one Halloween shoe I would cop if I had a chance to go back. And personally, the Air Max 95, the mummy one, kind of has like the tearaway looking cloth. It doesn't actually tear away, I believe, but just thinking back to what the symbolism is behind the wavy lines on the Air Max 95. It's the epidermis, right? Skin, yep. Different levels of what we have all over us. So to wrap that with like mummy, I thought was a really cool thing. And part of the reason why Halloween shoes are typically, that they're campy and they're fun, but you can really tell any kind of story with them. So I'm going to go 95 zombie. What about you?
So I would probably go with, now that I think about it, the easy choice for me would be like the Halloween dunks that came out in like, I don't know, 06 or 07 that were just all black with a tiny bit of orange on them. But since that's kind of like just too easy, I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball because Dalton and I were just talking about the Asics, the A-Life Asics Gel Lyte 3 Monsters, which I think is one of the craziest, like just themed shoes I've ever seen. Still to this day.
Kermit's cousin. It's Kermit's angry cousin.
Yeah. And so if I had no limits to the budget, that would probably be the shoe that I would get. But there's actually a couple of good shoes coming out this year too. So I'm kind of looking forward to this conversation.
The strength runneth over. You can go all the way back to 2007. That's when the Green Monster released, all the way now to 2021. And there's still good stuff coming out. That's a great place to start though, because Halloween is, I feel like, a time where every brand, right, has a chance to do something cool, because it doesn't matter if you're the biggest box, you're the biggest box in the room or the smallest. Halloween's going to draw either some kids in, maybe people from the opposite sex that maybe don't buy shoes that way or your shoes that way that might be drawn in. So many different opportunities. And I think that Asics, like the Gel Lyte 3 has been on every collab, I think, but that one in particular stands out. I mean, how can you not stand out with big green beady eyes on the side of your shoe? But like that's just like an OG listening to this is like, yep, I'm happy they brought up that shoe because that's like one of the probably more famous Halloween shoes ever, and it's not by Nike, Adidas, or Reebok. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, and I think, it's easy especially for Halloween, because Nike does themed shoes so well, right? Especially SB. I mean, we could probably come up with 10 or 20 SB themed Halloween shoes by itself. So figure good to mix it up a little bit, though.
I mean, let's just keep it in 2007. So the most legendary dunk, maybe of all, I would say probably the most 3 legendary dunks of all time, the Freddy Krueger. It's obviously never going to be called, maybe for retros, they'll be called the actual Freddy Krueger, but there's no relation to it. The color blocking and the materials and the thought process does it all for you. That's like, right, probably one of the best collabs ever that isn't a collab. One of the best storytelling shoes. I can go on with every hyperbole ever made of all time. But like, it really is a unicorn of unicorns, man. Yep. Scary unicorn.
Yeah, I mean the story behind that shoe is pretty crazy too. I actually talked to last Halloween. I talked to Input Magazine about Halloween shoes and some other stuff. But that shoe, somehow made its way to some stores and then was supposedly thrown out. And there's just a lot of like a lot of stories hyping it up to keep it kind of one of the most important dunks of all time too, right? Because nobody really knows and remembers, and with so few of them that actually got out before, the movie company basically said no go. It's always going to have that lure of like, it's just crazy to see any of them. I mean, I've been able to see a couple pairs in my life, but I definitely don't expect to see anybody wearing these in person.
I saw Kenny G's at a sneaker event in person. That's the only time I've ever seen a pair with my own 2 eyes. So, I mean, this begs the question that is probably one of the more polarizing ones in the sneaker community. Is that a shoe you retro? Does that ever come back, or do you keep it as that ultra, it's basically an urban legend at this point, right? Like you said, there's so many stories about it. Like, do you bring that back, or do you let it sleep forever?
I mean, I guess like that's the hardest part about that question is actually relates to like last year's 95 Air Max 95 was 2020 Air Max 95 was like a Freddy Krueger themed shoe too, right? Mm-hmm. And I would say if you can do it collaboratively with the New Line Cinema or whoever it is, I think it's New Line Cinema did Freddy Krueger Friday the 13th series. Mm-hmm. If you can do it with them, then yes, I say retro it. Like I just don't have any, especially because it's a movie. It's not like there was an artist that did it. I'd say like if, at least in my opinion, if, let's say
like a Futura dunk or something.
Yeah. I was going to say Futura is like, it's up to him. It's up to him to be able to say Nike, can run it again, and up for them to figure out how the partnership works, in my opinion. I know it doesn't always work that way because obviously you don't get signature shoes with the original logos and stuff like that. So
I like that take on it because a lot of people would say, well, it's like the community's thought process that should matter to Nike. It's like, nah, I'm pretty sure with like something like that, it should be the originator and Nike. But I think that's a shoe. Like, why do we need to be gatekeepers? Like, why does anybody care if the Bacon Air Max 90 Bacon comes out and then like flops, for lack of a better Bacon pun? But it's like, it doesn't flop all the way, but people bought it up thinking that they'd be able to make $1 million. Like, if there was a fat run of Freddy Krueger dunks, are they going to be sitting at like $40 over retail and everybody's going to be pissed that their, $20,000, shoe in their closet is no longer worth, or it's such a crazy question. Like,
I mean, I think with a shoe like that too, with so few pairs that actually made it, into production and sent out to the public in some way, shape or form, the people that have the originals are still going to have an incredibly valuable shoe, right?
Very true.
I look at an Air Max, like the Air Max 90 Bacon, and I think, most of you can't wear that shoe if you have the original, right? So might as well just go at it again so you have a pair to wear. If you want to keep the original dead stock and you've kept it dead stock and, fresh all these years, more power to you. That's super dope. But like, it doesn't hurt to have like a colorway that like if you want to keep something, keep the original and then rock the retro. That's the way I look at it, at least. I mean, I know some people would probably argue exactly the opposite because retros aren't that great or whatever, but I mean,
eye roll.
Yeah, there's so, there's definitely things that I've been there in that position where, I always wanted Nike on the back of the Jordans, the Jordan 3s specifically. I mean, I still want to wear those shoes though. I'm not going to just get them and sit on them and wait for them to, deteriorate. So the one thing about the Dunk though is, you could wear that shoe for a long time before it deteriorates, which is
they last a long time.
Nice. Yeah.
What's funny to me is when people are like, the retros aren't that great. It's like the same people who order a bucket of KFC and like, well, why isn't it running over at the top of the bucket? It's like, well, your expectation versus what they sell you in a photo aren't going to be the same. Doesn't mean it's not good. You're still going to have a good time, but like nothing's perfect. And like the Freddy Krueger Dunk and all these other hyper rare shoes, like if you have a nice Acura worth of shoe in your closet and you're tripping out with them retroing it, you should have sold it when you could have gotten a nice Acura for it. You know, it's just like,
and there's exceptions to that in my opinion, right? Like if you're a crazy collector of a particular model or a particular shoe, or, if you're one of those 3 or 4 people in the world that have like all the original SB Dunks, right? Mm-hmm. Of course, like I'm not saying to like just wear the shoes. Like you've got something that, potentially is going to be worth a house down the road. Don't wear the shit now. You waited long enough to get past it.
Yeah.
But I also totally understand the nuances of wanting the original kind of quality and stuff. I mean, that's kind of why we're seeing that's why we're seeing Virgil do the twos the way he's doing it, right? To showcase the original shape and stuff, which that shoe's not for me no matter what. I think it's a cool story, but I don't think that it aligns with the marketing of Virgil in a sense, right? Like Virgil's supposed to be like kind of breaking the mold, and here they're going back to try to convince, a small percentage of people that the two is different this time around, which is bizarre to me. But at the same time, I also understand where like someone like Sean Collard, from the Sneaker Podcast, look, he's been obsessing over that shoe longer than most people have been alive. And that to me is like the person that you're making that shoe for, and you're doing it correct. And you're doing all the 3D scanning and all the extra shit to make it as close to the originals as possible. And that's great. He gets to kind of relive that moment and finally get a proper shaped Air Jordan 2. I mean, I don't know how he feels about the crumbling midsole aspect of it, but like, if it leads to, a handful of like the OGs being happy, I think it's great. I think, it's not hurting anybody to do it, but I just think that it's weird that Virgil's name is attached to it when Nike could be doing all this stuff without him. And, it's like, I don't know. That was a little off topic, but back to the Halloween shoes.
No, it definitely is. I mean, makes it there's tons of things, but it's like that shoe's now going to become an asset, and like any asset, there's a good time and a bad time to both buy and sell, and like ebbs and flows. That shoe's going to go astronomical in money, I think, for right away. Like it's not going to be a cheap shoe to acquire, but there's other good options out there, right? But like, yeah, we can go on and on. Dunks and Jordans are just such wave makers when it comes to dropping and selling. And I say that because I'm looking back at some of these Halloween Dunks, and I'm going to throw Day of the Dead. I know there's a difference. They're not the same holiday, but just color thematically. Dunks, man. Like, so the Day of the Dead dunk, for example, the Halloween Night of Mischief, just from a couple years ago, 2019, that thing shot up in value really quick. This year, there's a really good looking Halloween dunk. It's kind of like a retro looking Giants colorway with like really fine details. There's like skulls and stuff over like the toe overlay and the heel. Just color blocks really, really well. But they do so well. The zombie dunks, the mummy dunks from this year with the green glowing eye on the back. It's a really cool detail. But I think all those shoes, and factually all those shoes, are not only Halloween, but like heavy collectors. Like, I feel like people don't rock Christmas shoes maybe outside of the Grinch 6 year round, or like have interest in a limited seasonal shoe year round. But Halloween stuff, let's even include stuff like the Bones Air Force Ones. You know, there's the black Bones. They all glow in the dark. The white, the purple, and the orange. Like, I see people rocking those in August. Just like liking the shoe. Like, I think Halloween, you can have some of like, it can turn into a big Class 5 asset if you have a Day of the Dead dunk, you know?
Yep.
But it's also just so wearable 365, and it's such a unique, weird holiday. I don't know where I was going with that, but I just wanted to say it. It's so weird.
Well, and I think too, like you were saying before we started recording, people don't, it's actually weird that people don't necessarily like wear matching shoes with a lot of their costumes, right? Like you said, dressed as Mario Brothers wearing a pair of brand new Jordans, right? It doesn't make sense, right?
When
but
like on
the flip side of that, like on the flip side of that like that's what, people are wearing all these Halloween themed shoes. And I mean, I think it's dope. I think that, some of them are not for me, like in terms of like, would I wear this year round? But the colors and the themes and the details have always been really good. Like, I mean, it sounds funny talking about it now because I'm just thinking like, man, there's, 5 or 6 different black, white, and orange, dunks. There's 4 or 5 of the same color themed Air Force Ones. There's, just like repeated storylines and all of these, but it's almost like each time they do it a little bit differently and a little bit cooler in a lot of ways, like I think that this year's SB Mummy Dunks is a great example of that, right? They did I don't know when it was, but it was like within the last 4 or 5 years, they did a blazer that was a mummy shoe. Mm-hmm. And then like Reebok came out and did the mummy question last year with the tearaway stuff. And like, I mean, that was super dope. And I think you usually expect those kind of details to come from SB or Jordan or something, but to see kind of Reebok stick their nose in there and actually have like what I would say is more of a more successful release for something like this than they usually would, was kind of dope. And then I think that, we're getting to the point where, to your point about people wearing them outside of the holiday, right? You're getting to the point where you could have a nice little collection of Halloween themed shoes, like you could have
year round.
Yeah. You could have, whether you're wearing them or collecting them or whatever, you could have like a pretty decent selection compared to, that one-off thing that used to be the case, right? Like, I know there's been dunks that we'll probably get into, but like for the most part, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff that wasn't like kids themed. And now we've kind of expanded into, okay, well, the big kids get them too, right? The adult kids get them every year now too. So.
We get the cool stuff too. And like the whole point of bringing up the same motif over and over again is part of the fun of Halloween. You go and you buy the same damn pumpkin and you carve it every single year. And it's like, maybe some variants, might get a white pumpkin or, an artisanal pumpkin, whatever you're going to do. But ultimately, you're still buying the same stuff every year and you enjoy it. It's fun. So, like, I think that's how they get away with it. You brought up Reebok, and Boktober should just be a full month of Halloween shoes. But that tearaway pair you brought up is great. 2013, they did a Pump Omni Light Pumpkin, this straight up fucking orange shoe, which is really cool looking. They also did a Shacknosis, I believe, last year with like spider web all over the side of it. That's also cool. I need to give even bigger props, and you should have seen this. You might have. Vans collection this year has a whole like horror movie like motif going across different, what's what I'm looking for? Properties. So you have like The Shining, Friday the 13th, The Exorcist, probably 5 different movies of Van slip-ons, eras, stuff like that, skate highs. It's really, really sick shit. And Vans, again, just doing theme stuff maybe better than what people assume.
Yeah, I mean, I think Vans probably has the best overall collective releases of this year, right? I think Nike, just off the top of my head, that new Mummy Dunk is probably my favorite shoe, but Vans doing all the different horror films to me is, I think that's like just a dope way to like actually differentiate between the same, pumpkin jack-o'-lantern theme, colorways, right? And to be able to break it up into all those different films at one time is super dope.
It's not just the movies too. They have like customizable Vans skulls. You can do alien. You can do all these different prints like for Halloween too. It's like, what if you're just somebody who's into shoes and into seasonality? Like, oh, I don't like The Shining that much. Well, go there and make your own skull shoe, and like you can make it to fit maybe the Halloween costume you're going for. This is not a sponsored ad by Vans. It's just really cool how they not only give you the option to like, here's the licensed stuff, but here's some also very favorable customized options, which they always have good custom options on Vans throughout the year. But that is just an extra step forward, because like this kind of segues to my next, kind of the last questions of the day. Like, it's fun questions on the topic of shoes. Like, I'm not dressing up this year. I don't like putting costumes on that much because I feel goofy. Like if I'm trying to portray a character and my character doesn't have movie accurate shoes on, I feel weird about it. I'm not going to go buy, the matching Captain America boots for my costume. So I chose just to get like a button up shirt that it's orange and it has like skulls on it. It's just like a seasonal kind of, like, I call it a boyfriend shirt. Right? Boyfriend, go put a fucking shirt on, going to a Halloween party, like look nice for Halloween. So I got that taken care of. But like, if I could just customize some like skull Vans or skull alien Vans or like spiders, like that's the kind of stuff I want to be wearing with a Halloween costume. Like, do you dress up? And if you do, or like combo to that, it's like, are you dressing up, or like, have you seen like goofy costume and shoes? Take that however you want to, but like, how does Halloween impact your footwear?
I mean, I'm not dressing up this year. I typically don't. Sometimes we'll do something that where I would, but usually I just it's like more about my nephews than it is the adults, and for me. So, I know one of my nephews is going to be the Mandalorian. He's been wearing the costume already for a couple weeks, so. We went and visited over the weekend, and he wore it for like literally 75% of the time we were there. I think that's the cool stuff. And I think what I like to see is people just getting creative with it, right? If you can come up with something, right? Because to your point, you're never going to have Captain America boots. I don't know. Maybe you could find a Captain America shoe to go with it, right? Maybe you could find like a pair of Dadas, chrome Dadas to go with the Mandalorian outfit or something, right? Like there's ways to kind of play with it and have fun with it. And I think that's, the ultimate, point for me is just to just have fun with it and enjoy it and not stress too much about it, which, hopefully with all these releases that are coming, everybody's not going too crazy off the deep end trying to get, everything and bummed because they didn't or whatever. Cause it's just have fun with it.
Michael Keaton's Batman wore Jordan 6s. So if he can do it, anybody can. Exactly. But I mean, I'll just go back to the point. I think it's just so funny when like you see, I keep saying Mario and Jordans because I've seen a Mario in Jordans a couple of times. And it's just like, It's not like a Mamma Mia in a bad way. It's like a Mamma Mia that's funny. Like, this was last Halloween. I think it was like the Oregon Duck. I saw Mario wearing like Oregon Duck 5s. And obviously in Oregon, people love the Ducks regardless of like, it can be like a blackout day. And you're still going to wear fucking candy green because you loved Oregon so much. Like, they're just like that. So it was like Mario head to toe. I mean, Mario ankle to head. And then this Duck 5s at the bottom was hilarious. It's funny seeing like, if you just like search Avengers shoes, you find something like fake shoes. I think it'd be hilarious to dress up as Spider-Man and have like really bad knockoff Spider-Man shoes, you know, like straight off of Wish. Like, yeah. I think this is the day where like fake shoes are okay. Like, right. Like you can definitely wear fake mags if you want to dress up as Marty McFly, right? It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even the crazy part about that is even the like fake, I'm pretty sure the like fake
the costume
studio
quality.
whatever costume ones on StockX are, you know.
Oh, that's disgusting. I hope you don't pull a big number out of that search bar because that just makes me angry. I bet you like the soft, I think they make soft, fuzzy, like, you know, sandal, like not sandal, but like house shoe style mags. I know they do it with Yeezys and stuff. I bet you that's needlessly overpriced too. If you say more than $100, I mean, if you say more than $300, I'm gonna be pissed. I was like, realistically, probably $250.
I'm not seeing them. Let's see.
Either way, that's the kind of stuff where it's like, don't clown some. I mean, especially even like, here's a trick question. Do you clown somebody dressed up as Michael Jordan head to toe, and they got some like gray market Jordans on, or straight up like Fugazi Jordans on? Like, are Canal Street Jordans okay for just dressing up for him as a day? Like, let's say you don't give a crap about Michael Jordan and you're just like, I want to be Michael Jordan for Halloween one year. Like, can you rock fake ones or fake 5s and be okay? Like, it's a costume. It's costume day.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to hear this answer from our community. I'm going to post it actually in the Discord. So if you're not a member of the Discord, you're going to need to go ahead and sign up for that. But I think that's a very interesting question. Like, I really don't, unless you're my friend, I'm not going to clown a passerby on anything. I don't know what their life situations are. Halloween, though, I think is a time where you could even go, I'd say you're okay to go full fake jersey, fake shorts. Like, you want to go to Wish and just go fucking ham and like, I need a Michael Jordan jersey, shorts, shoes, stat. Because like Mitchell and Ness probably going to be sold out. And on top of that, the cheapest Jordan jersey is probably $140 if they have it in stock, not counting the shorts. You're not just going to find a pair of like Fire Red 5s just laying around, or, you know, whatever Jordan in Chicago type colorway laying around. Like, nobody's trying to spend $1,000. Yeah. Because of The Last Dance, you're probably spending $500 or close to $500 for the shoes, and then probably $3 to $4 on official licensed jerseys and shorts. And then if you want to get really crazy and get like, you know, like the arm, you know, the wristband and, you know, stuff like that, I think it's way more economical and totally fine if you just go to Wish and spend $100 and get all of that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, so StockX doesn't have the movie prop ones on the site anymore. They used to.
That's good. It's good for the culture.
I mean, I don't think that they should have, you know, I argued against that when I was working there. So I just don't think that, you know, something that's not a Nike branded shoe should be on a shoe that claims to sell authentic Nikes. Right. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's a costume, man. It's not that serious.
You know, there's some serious people out there though, who are like sacrilegious. Nope. I want to know what they think.
So if you're going to dress up as Michael Jordan and you're listening to this podcast, you probably have like authentic stuff, right? You probably have a jersey. You might have some shorts. You might have, you know, hopefully you got a pair of Jordans if you're listening to this podcast, or at least you are familiar with them. And in that case, like, you know, just wear what you have. Like, I wouldn't go buy new stuff like fake or real, just to dress up for one day out of the year as Michael Jordan. You know, like if you're a fan, just be the fan and, you know, wear what you got kind of.
I think sneakerheads are so weird. If you did everything you just said and like wore whatever Michael Jordan stuff you already have, if you come out and like, let's say, and there's nothing against this shoe, or if you own this shoe, like the Venom Jordan 10. Remember that shoe, like the black with the lime green on there? If you come up in like a Bulls jersey and shorts and like a pair of Venom 10s on, you get me with like the wrong amount of drinks and we're friends, I'm definitely going to say something to you. But like, Jordans are the kind of thing where it's like accuracy to a lot of people really matters. And it's like, let's say you're just, you're a Jordan card collector and you fuck with cards so hard. You have all this Jordan card stuff, but like, you know, your girlfriend's like, hey, we're going to a party this year. You're dressing up. You're not getting out of dressing up 3 years in a row. Do whatever you want to do. And that man says, Michael Jordan. I think he might go and get like the color accurate to 1995 shoe. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? But I'm curious what people think. It's an interesting question.
Yeah, it is definitely. You remember when, I don't remember when it was, Kanye, within the last few years, somebody tried to have him sign some fakes and he told them they were fakes, right? Yeah. So do you think that Michael Jordan would do that if he came across somebody that had a pair of fake Jordans?
Yes.
Like it would have to be like ridiculously fake for him to even know, though, right?
Mike's not, obviously Mike wears his own shoes. Mike's not analyzing the materials and stitch work of his own shoes. They'd have to be like an egregious, like, yo, man, like, what are these Orlando Magic, Jordan 2s doing here? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But there's the UNC 2s. There's a couple 2s. Yeah, man. I don't think Mike would say anything unless it was like an egregious thing. But there's the stories of Mike's kids' friends coming over to the house wearing other brands and those shoes disappearing from the house. Right? You've heard those stories?
Yep.
Which I would purposely, I would go to Kmart and I would buy purposely wrong shoes before I go to Michael Jordan's house just to like exploit that if I was 13, 14. And I knew that's what happened. Like, man, I need that fresh pair. I'm going to go get this $20 pair. Then go to, what's his son's name? Marcus? Yeah, go to Marcus's house. Yeah. Anywho, what do you rock on Halloween? Does authenticity matter to you on Halloween? Does your significant other make you dress up? And if you do, what are you wearing? Let us know what you think. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, become a family member. I got the paperwork. You can become my son. I'm kidding. But thanks for messing with us. Join the Discord. Join the Patreon. Lots of great additional content from us. We're doing a new thing later in the month. We'll disclose more, but we're going to be running. It's kind of like Race for a Cure, but it's not, and there's no affiliation to it. But it's going to be good.
Definitely. And we got a cool little treasure hunt contest going on too. So you can, what is it? You can, you have to check the Discord for the details, but basically you can, by finding a steal under $40, you can potentially win a like deep cleaning from Soulworks, Sneaker History hoodie, or candy. Potentially some cleaning product for yourself. So fun stuff as always. That
is very fun. I don't know if you watch Donut Media or Donut stuff on YouTube, but like they do this stuff where they find like the cheapest, best car on Craigslist amongst each other. Yep. So very fun stuff we're doing here. $40 or less. What can you find? Join the Discord to learn more. Thank you, everybody. I'm Robbie. Make sure you're following at Sneaker History on all major platforms. You can find me at RAHBEE702. Nick, where can they find you?
I'm at Nick Engvall on all the platforms. If you're interested in the running stuff, we also have the at Sneaker History Run Club, which is at SH Run Club on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes, sir. Well, thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. Take it easy. Peace.